Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 26th of October. So looking at the euro dollar first, and well, we're still in that downward trend. Draghi's speech didn't really help, and we saw a little pop and it's dropped, and it's really just continued in the mode. So I was talking about this in our trading room yesterday, how important it is just to read the price action. What's it telling us here? It's got lower highs and lower lows. What's that suggest? Weakness, continued weakness potentially. Now it has double bottomed into its pivot here. It's actually, if I come back to the dailies, it's the daily the monthly S2 pivot, which may just hold it up a bit. We're getting close to the end of the month. With just a few trading days left. It may just hold it. Quite often the price is held in between the R's and the S2s. So we'll see how it holds, but it's just stifled here somewhat. So double bottom at the moment. I'd rather be on the short side of it. The lower highs, lower lows. To me, at the moment the trend is down. I'll watch this carefully, see how it reacts. It's got the pitch up potential, good probability of hitting the daily pivot at the moment. So we'll leave that alone until we see, if we see a nice reversal sign into the pivot, the 50 EMA, and it starts breaking down. I'll be back in looking for these lows and the S1. Not a great range yesterday with the euro. In fact, we traded in our trading room yesterday. I traded and we took a trade with a pound. It seemed like a decent, a more sensible trade, bearing in mind that at the moment the Brexit talks, if anything, are negative. There was faint signs of things, but it's only faint signs of things. It's not necessarily major discussions at the moment, and we're seeing sort of reasonable days coming in that are tradable. So whilst it's like that, I'll trade it. As soon as there's a lot of meetings going on again, I'll leave it alone. So I know there are meetings behind the scenes and whatever else, but I'm referring to those that are more likely to give key headlines. You've got to watch the headlines. There's a lot of fake-ish or weak headlines coming through by newspapers at the moment, and oh god dear me, you sort of see the rally, and then you look at the headline again, you think, well, hang on a minute, there's no foundation behind any of that, and of course the price just pulls back and sells off. Now we've seen that a bit lately, but if given the opportunity and it retraces this again, look at the lows, lower lows, lower highs. It's in a solid downward trend at the moment, and it's just a case of selling the retracements. Now where to today? Well, if it pitches up, it's a reasonable probability back towards the daily pivot. If it can make that, it's just consolidated the way it has here. It may just sell off, but if it can make it back into that daily pivot, maybe the 34, even the 50, I just need to watch what's happening there. May give signals to sell. That's for me anyway. Dollar yen. I looked at dollar yen earlier. Actually, I'm just having another look at it. There's some decent movement in this on a 4-hourly basis. You can see the swings in it in the movement, and it's certainly tradable. It seems to be. I mean, you can look at in terms of price action. We're seeing this sort of support of this weekly mid pivot. At the moment, it's where it seems to. I mean, same sort of level actually. I mean, 112.10, somewhere around that sort of area. It seems to be finding a bit of a pivotal area where price is dropping through it, but then bouncing back, closing above it, and it has done it for well over a week now. It's quite a pivotal area. But do I want to trade it? It's awkward because we're seeing things happen, and it's not going. It's not inverted. It's not an inverted euro and pound. It's not trading the opposite way. It's risk on, risk off. It's to me. It's for me. I'm leaving it alone, and there you are. I'm not covering it any. Well, I'm saying not anymore, but not today. There's no point saying anything more. Enough said. Let's look at where we got better odds. The Aussie dollar is weak. It's been weak, as I said, and the weekly update. Got it? Okay, you haven't. It's broken now below the prior lows there. It's well, where to? Weekly S3 is sitting below us there. It's so weak. There's not much to be done to it, I think now. You could be looking, well, there was a head and shoulder pattern. It got broken, and then finally it sold off. I know people have got in it a little bit early. It's just a patience game with this, and it's done what it's done. It's a case of waiting for the real trigger, was the break of the lows here. Sometimes you're trying to get in easy in different points, and unless you got a big stop on it, well, it broke the pattern, I guess. But the key pivotal area was around these lows, and that was I mean, it's gone through the Asian session here, 4 o'clock in the morning, but that's sold off anyway. It's weak. It's already done right the way through the range. It may get retracements for the others this morning. Is there anything in it for me? No. So again, whoops, Canadian dollar now, if we can, please. Thank you. Right, okay, it's finally starting to break. I've been talking about this for a little while. It looks like it wants to break. I mean, it's just into its R1 here, monthly R1. More importantly, I'll just come out the pattern. I'm looking at this sort of pattern, this expanding wage pattern that's sort of pushing there. Fundamentally, there's weakness there from my perspective, and I've looked at. And there's potential upside, and it's starting to run, so it could be one of those that runs and pushes for a while. Now, if you get in straight away, you'll just wait for this to develop and retrace again. Is a possibility. So I'll leave that with you, but it does look like it's got further upside overall. It's maybe getting a little bit overbought in the short term, and yes, it's got daily pivot below. Could it get back to that? Of course it could, but it's to me it's a bit of a waiting game, maybe just to get into an entry. It's given me a trigger. Let's just wait for an entry, a retracement, and see. I'm not going to be playing anything beyond that, so I'll just wait for a half decent retracement to get me into a trade there. But looking on the longer side, more of a swing sort of shape pattern. Looking for there, bigger picture back up towards the highs at least, and maybe further up to these other highs here on a one-to-one basis for this overall price action. So there we are. Okay, that's it for me. Today, news-wise, got the US GDP data coming out at 1:30, and that's the key thing. We've got Draghi speaking again at 3 p.m, but we heard from him yesterday. Would be surprised if anything more comes from that, but we could get volatility come 3 o'clock, so just be aware of that. Have a great day, have a great weekend. I'll speak to you Monday. Bye for now.